All right, guys, it's a long time coming, this video. We talked about odd size shapes and doing CSAs before. Some of the guys talked about planimeters in the comments, which is a good thing. What I wanted to show you is how I do it in CAD. I get the picture into CAD, and this way I can actually work out where I can shift the core shift, putting bigger radiuses, how I can fudge to get more cross-sectional area. So I thought I'd show you that today. Let's get into it. All right, so we're in AutoCAD. We're just going to open a new page, a new file. That's one it wants to open. What do we got? Yeah, we don't want 3D, so this will do us. Open. I'm just going to go set our units to metric. Millimeters. Hit OK. All right, and now we're going to bring in our image that we're going to trace. So we're going to go insert, attach. Yes, that's the one we want. Hit OK. You can specify points, but just drop it in the screen. All right, so we've got the image in. We're going to scale it now. SC for scale. We're going to click on the image, hit enter. We're going to pick a point here. We're going to hit R for reference. So that's our reference point. We're going to take that across to here. We're going to hit that point and we're going to type in 82.45. Alright, so now let's just see if that's even right with our dimensions. Yep, pretty much. Alright, so we have this size now. Zoom in a bit. Now we're going to make another layer to draw over the top. And we'll call this draw. We'll make it red. Hit OK. We'll close that up. We're going to click on the image. No, it's not. Now we can do it. Okay, image. Adjust. So we want to fade it a little bit. Hit OK. So there we go. And now we're going to go into the draw. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can do it just with a polyline. So you can just sort of go sort of like this and trace around it really quickly and then adjust them later on. I'll escape that. Let me get out of there. Delete that. What I like to do, it's a little bit more work at first, but it helps later on, and that's I use circles. And the reason I do this is because I can adjust the radiuses to the area later once I know where the core is, and I'll explain that a bit more later on, but let's just rough this out. So about there, let's move this, hit enter. I'll just bring it down to there. Oops, no, I gotta turn that off.
Okay, let's start cutting it out. So we're just going to use the snip tool, hit enter before we start. Alright, so we've got a rough shape. Now we're going to join all of that. Actually, get out of there. We're going to highlight it first. Then we're going to hit join. And then we're going to see, you can see it's not joined everywhere. So we're going to go in and just repair that. So right here, bring that back, done. Hit that. Join, done, move around, there's another point here, hit that, bring it back, hit that, hit join, now we can test it, yep. So now we should be able to, let's just double check it again. Modify, join. Alright, now we're going to hit that. We're going to go to properties. And now down here we have our area. So that's 3,111 square millimeters. So it's a little bit of a job, but the reason why, oh, sorry, cancel that. I don't want to, let's save it. Let's save as, say, port, that'll do. The reason why I wanted to save it in CAD is now we have this file, or this profile, and we can see where we can obviously improve it and put better radiuses into it and get more surface area. So let's say we've got to get this thing bigger. We can, and this is why I like to sort of do it with circles. We can take this, we can bring that sort of up in there. We can get a proper circle up in here. We could almost make all that a circle. Let's see if that fits. I could fudge fudge that up a little bit, like so. And then we could do another one here, and we'll actually cut into that. Wrong spot. I will move it. Done. So now we're actually getting more area into it, and we're able to actually calculate how much the port is changing and measure how much we can take out of the casting versus what we've, if we've cut a cylinder head up, we know what wall thickness we have and where we can push the ports, right? So we can put a little bit more in this wall, we can put a little bit more down here, we can tidy this up, we can have a look at the roof section depending on, what that needs. So up in here we could make that a whole circle. We'll move that over. Let's so something like so, and then we could straight line from there to there, roughly. Oh, I took the wrong line. We can take that up. And then we can clean that up again, and then we can redo the area, and now it's told us what we can get away with inside the casting. Say we've got to get to 3,250. We'll be able to do this just by fudging a little bit of area here and there, and you'll be able to see how you can fit certain cross-sectional areas into the casting once we have that odd shape in CAD. As I said, there's a little bit of work to it. You can do it easier with other instruments like the, what's the name I'm thinking of? A couple of people mentioned it last time. I used to have one. It's basically like a digital perimeter thing. You can just run it around and it'll give you the area. But this way with it in CAD, I can put different cross sections in, and I can actually see how they evolve relative to how much I need to take out of the castings, and I can actually see if it's even possible to get the area in that cylinder head that I actually need. Again, this is a lot of work, but it gets you a little bit more in depth into the actual physical castings, especially like I said, if you pull a really good template off, and like I said, it's an odd shape. Once we've got the area worked out, we can see where we can fudge it, because we can measure wall thickness. We know this far right side wall over here, we've got 6 mil, so we could pump that right out if we want to. But then we've got to look at the rest of the port, right? Depending on what it's feeding. Obviously, we don't get very weird shapes like this very often, but this is just an example. I cut something out of a bit of paper just to, create an obstacle. Like, this is probably the hardest sort of shape you'll do, but as you can see, using circles and lines, just going around trimming it up, you'll get a rough idea, or pretty close idea, of what sort of square millimeters it is and how far you need to fudge the castings to get the surface area, that surface area that you need to get your airspeed right. Because remember, the cross-sectional area dictates the airspeed, and the better the cross-sectional area mapping is throughout the port, the more mass we get in, the more horsepower you make, the more torque you make, everything. So, all right, guys, that'll wrap this one up. We've got another one coming up on runners. Again, I'm no CAD expert. You probably find other guys will come in and say, Jake, you can do this, this, and this much quicker. You probably can, and listen to those guys, especially if they're giving good CAD advice. Like I said, I'm no CAD expert, but I just find my way through these things, and I've been playing around with it for quite a few years, probably a decade. I really should be a hell of a lot better at it, but it's like that. You learn just enough to get you through, if that makes sense, so to get the jobs done, basically. But yeah, this is another way that we've gone about it in CAD to do cross-sectional areas on weird port shapes, and it works really well. Again, especially if you're doing developmental work in a casting, to sort of see where you can shift it. If you're trying to, you build a race engine, or even, your own race car type deal in your garage. you take the time, work it all out properly, and you'll get a 10 times better job at the end of the day than just focusing on flow numbers. This will map all your CSA points, do as many as you possibly can through the port, get them all targeted properly, and you can't not make horsepower. All right, see you in the next one, guys.